as you age, it's different, right? Like I remember when I was a kid, it was just like slam some weights, get some biceps, and I never did cardio. I never watched what I ate, and
Skip
then
leg day,
no,
just
no, no, no,
chest and
never,
arms all day, every day.
never. I never had chicken legs. That's the one thing I'll say. I still have pretty good legs.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Journey, the real life podcast. Hey, we're on episode 3 now.
Oh wow, buddy, it's flying. Time's flying.
Time's flying, numbers are flying, dude. People
Listen.
are listening. Thank you to anyone who's tuning in still, or just starting. Appreciate it. First batch of numbers were impressive, so
Right on. People
Yep.
like what they're hearing.
Thanks,
That's
Mom.
great. Yeah. Well,
Thanks,
it's funny.
Mom.
It's funny because sometimes you wonder. We all have our own podcasts that we listen to, and then you get a little bit bashful sometimes too. On like, okay, do I really want to flip this around to my circle and have them listen to me ramble? But then again, I found that like a lot of my friends that I sent it to were like, "Hey, this is pretty cool," So right on.
Yeah. I mean, like, they don't have podcasts, so it's like, oh, they have a podcast. They're actually doing this. And it's like, yeah, we're doing it. And I had the same sort of thing with my friends. Like, they already hate listening to me when we hang out. They're gonna listen to me in their free time
No.
with headphones on? Probably not. But some of them did. And got some good feedback from everyone. So appreciate that. And we're gonna tweak things as we go. And we're learning. We're
Yeah.
moving and grooving here. And
Well,
yeah.
and also to some of you listeners, just reminding you, I'm Paul.
Oh
Just
yes, that's
as
Paul.
yeah, as people get to get to listen to us, and again, we used to have a previous podcast, and we just kind of assumed that everyone knew who we were. But I'm Paul, I'm the mortgage broker, and my co-host there is Tyler, who's a realtor here in the same area as myself, and we're buddies on top of our work relationship. Hey,
Absolutely, yeah, and that's a fair point because yeah, a little bit of assumption there. We're gonna get the same listeners from the old show into this show, and that's not the case. So yeah, Tyler and Paul here with you as we just kind of uncompress and or I guess decompress and
yeah,
and share a little bit of what's going on while we try to grow our businesses and balance our family life and our own personal lives at the same time. It's a lot. It can get pretty heavy.
yeah, and that's why today's topic is great. Like we're just going to talk about just the importance of focusing on your health, right? And health uh, as you age, it's different, right? Like I remember when I was a kid, it was just like slam some weights, get some biceps, and I never did cardio. I never watched what I ate, and
Skip
then
leg day,
no,
just
no, no, no,
chest and
never.
arms all day, every day.
Never. I never had chicken legs. That's the one thing I'll say. I still have pretty good legs. But anyways, it's funny how over time, your goals and your the things you need to focus on change. And so I think as you become a business owner, as you have a family, you still need to focus on health. And that's been a major kind of topic that Ty and I have talked about over the last couple of years. And just be happy to share it with you guys here today too.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you say you're a healthy person? Like out of 10, rank yourself out of 10.
So if we're talking like globally, like if I what am I comparing myself or
Yeah,
let's just say
generally, if I was a
in
doctor, I'm like,
Canada,
Paul, are you a healthy person?
I'd say I'm pretty healthy. Like
Yeah.
I don't eat I think I have fast food, for instance, if that's a one of the metrics, I'll maybe have fast food once every 6 weeks or two months,
Yep.
maybe. Like I'm
Nice.
talking like McDonald's. Like, I don't ever stop at a drive through or whatever. So I don't really eat a lot of fast food. We try and eat a lot of like meat and greens and yams, like kind of like unprocessed stuff, right?
Is it
So
a
we're
whole
not
food thing?
well, sort of like we're not just ripping ramen and mac and cheese. Like we're actually like making meals when we can.
Yes.
And again, we'll have some pre-made meals from Costco and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'd say I'm like eating wise, I'm probably a 7.5 out of 10. And then
Yeah.
exercise wise, I mean, I could be better. 6.5 maybe. I'm getting there. We'll
Sure.
talk about it. Yeah.
We'll keep those numbers and maybe we'll revisit in a year and see where we're at.
Where are you at?
But I would probably say I'm roughly the same.
Hmm.
Like it's been a major focus in our household over the last year. Because before I'd probably say when it came to diet, I was like a 4. And like people would look at me and never know that because
No.
I'm thin and tall. I take the weight and I stretch it out over a bigger space.
Gumbo. What was his name?
I'm very
Gumby.
tall, by the way. I'm 6.5 feet tall, almost 6 foot 4. So,
Flex. I'm very tall, by the way. You Gumby. What did
Very
I
tall.
call
I
you?
also have blue eyes and blonde hair, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Why,
charming.
didn't I used to call you, did I ever call you Gumby? Do you remember that character from like,
No, but I've been called Gumby before.
that's rude. I wouldn't have been
You're
me,
not
but
the first person to come up with that one. No, my diet used to suck, man. I was like eating garbage all the time. Dude, I'd have to go buy a case of pop like every 2 days. Like I was like, maybe not that fast, maybe every 4 days. Like I had a lot of soda, a lot of
yeah,
potato chips, a lot of junk food. I never like hated good food or anything like that. I had a high metabolism, so I never really noticed physically,
right.
like with my eyes, the effects of eating bad. But man, I used to tell this to people, like I am the fattest skinny guy you'll ever meet. Like
I know
I
what you mean.
just, yeah, like I felt horrible. Like
Yep.
I had no energy. I couldn't really, get around. And like I've played hockey my whole life and I was a goaltender. So like, yeah, you gotta have good legs and you gotta be able to move around, but like you're not skating the ice, 4 or 5 times in a shift and needing that endurance. And I switched from goalie to a player 4 years ago, I think. And holy hell, did I get hit like a ton of bricks with how out of shape I really truly was. Didn't look out of shape, but man, I felt it.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, it's one of those things too where, hey, just real quick. Yeah, we're still recording. I pressed a button there earlier. We're still good. Just making sure I don't want to have them miss all this.
Paul's pressing buttons.
Yeah. So anyway, I think the thing too that I started realizing was, yeah, earlier on in my younger years, you know, you just eat chicken wings, you make pizzas, you live on your own, you
Yep.
drink pop, drink alcohol, whatever it is, and then you don't really realize that stuff until like maybe your metabolism starts to slow down and maybe you start putting on a bit of weight, like visibly. And like again, my I can gain or lose 10 pounds in 10 days. It's crazy. It's absolutely
Yeah.
nuts. And then
There'll
I'm
be
like,
people listening to this who hate us after this episode
yeah,
because it's we
yeah,
understand everybody's situation is different
no,
and
yeah,
that like not everybody is
right,
that way, but
right.
we are.
But yeah, so like for me,
Yeah.
like it would be like a big oh crap. Like I'd see a picture and then be like, oh man, I gotta lay off like eating 6 burritos a day kind of thing. So whatever. Long story short, I think where I started realizing it was exactly like you said. Like as I started getting into my late 20s, my 30s, I started realizing that I was just like, I'm working my day job. I've got my friends, my family, and now I have no energy, or I'm having headaches, or those types of things, or like upset stomach, or those types of things. And then I started
Yeah.
realizing, like, okay, I should start seeing some people here on like focusing, like, what does my body need, and I cut certain things out of my diet, and started to instantly feel better, and then sort of kept it that way, and realized that certain things like sugars and whatever didn't sit well with my body, and so yeah, I think it's really important, especially like as a business owner. I mean, any career, but if we're talking about you and I think it is really important to focus on your health because in our businesses specifically, like Tyler's business as a realtor, mine as a mortgage broker, we are the business. So if we can't perform, if we're sick or bedridden, no one's
Yeah.
really doing our work for us. So we have to take care of ourselves. That's why it's a huge piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, man. And you said like ingredients, like that's so huge because like I used to think like people say like, oh, I'm cutting out sugar, I'm cutting back carbs. I'm like, oh, you probably need to do that because of like I always just assume like health was weight, and that's
No,
not true.
no.
I was dumb, and like we've so okay, I'm gonna zoom out and back up for a second. Like one of the biggest things that got me on a healthier, just general lifestyle was during the pandemic when we were all stuck at home.
Hmm.
Um, I really got into cooking. Like, I'm half Ukrainian. Cooking's a big thing in my family.
Big
Like,
time.
my mom cooks. We always had like big meals, and like my whole family, even on my dad's side of the family too. Like, there was a lot of big meals, a lot of cooking. Um, and for some reason, like in my younger years, I just wasn't really something I was ever interested in. So same thing. A lot of when I first got on my own, like most people, chicken fingers, pizzas, takeout,
Mm.
whatever. And then I got into cooking and I started like realizing that like man, all this stuff that I'm making that comes in a box just tastes like garbage. And then I
Yeah.
started experimenting like, well, what if I go in like, you know, um like take like a jar sauce for example. Like, an
Yeah.
Alfredo sauce, chicken
Ooh,
Alfredo. It's like
yum.
one of my favorite meals. Um
What's in
take a
it?
jar Alfredo and eat it, and it's like pretty blah. And then I'm like, what if I made it from scratch? And then
Yeah.
I made it from scratch. I can't eat it anymore out of a jar. It's just not, I can't do it. It's gross. Go to a restaurant and they put it on and it's like, it's okay. It's not as good as mine.
Mm.
Um, so just like focusing on those ingredients and learning that like, hey, yeah, these things aren't good for you for more than just weight reasons. They will obviously make that category worse, but just from like, your ability to have a proper sleeping pattern and your
Yeah.
ability to have, good, healthy, lasting energy throughout the day, like one things that we're doing now is like I'm a huge overnight oats guy.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
because I don't do breakfast, man. I've never done breakfast. Cup of coffee, I'm out the door. I never had time, right? And like cereal, we all know cereal's not that great for you. So whatever, sometimes I throw some toast or a bagel in the toaster, and it's just like carbs, and you're out the door, and it's like kind of like putting gas on a fire. Like it just burns quick,
Right.
and then it's
Right.
gone. But like overnight oats, man, we've gotten into this. And I have like a whole cupboard in my kitchen that's dedicated to my jars and all my stuff.
I'd love
And
some.
like, oh, dude, I make like a banana bread one that is
Oh,
so
okay.
good.
Next time we golf,
I'll bring you one.
bring me one for the morning tea time.
Yeah.
That'd be
And they're
great.
good because you eat them, man, and they're like it's slow burning carbohydrates. Like and use good oats and like you eat that in the morning, and man, by 3 in the afternoon, if you can't stop for lunch because our jobs don't always allow us to have a standard lunch hour, you still got jam, you still got juice.
Yeah,
You're
love
you're
that.
moving, you're grooving, and you feel fine. And I get home for dinner, and same thing. Like we use moving into dinner, like we use HelloFresh, so it's
Yeah.
like a program that like sends meals to your house, but you still cook them. They're not like pre-cooked or whatever. They just send you the ingredients and a
Right.
recipe card.
Right.
Uh, and we really like that. One, it's helped save time from having to go to the grocery store and think about stuff. But we've been able to try some new food and like pair that with my new like love for cooking. And I actually like dinner time's a lot of fun most nights. It's like, ooh, we're having Indian food tonight, or tomorrow we're trying this like
Yeah.
Thai thing, and
Yeah.
the next day, it's a little more standard like chicken and veggies, and it's something that before I did that, I probably never would have had tikka masala or
Mm.
like any of these other kind of outside of the box kind of meals. I'd be eating spaghetti and, chicken and broccoli for the rest of my life because that's all I
Yeah.
ever made,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
That's good.
Um,
That's good. It's like, and everyone can do it. And again, like, again, I'm not saying that I like literally go forage for my greens and go hunt each animal. Mind you, my father-in-law basically does the hunting for us. So we have like a freezer full of red meat, different types of
nice.
animals. So that's been amazing. And a lot of that stuff is as close, well, it's organic, it's wild animals, and it's not, and the crazy thing is like a lot of the ingredients now, and people think like, oh man, but I've been eating peanut butter for 40 years or this and that, or 30 years ago we fed our kids this. And it's like I've read all these articles about like how like the things that we ate as little kids in the 90s, those same products are now jam packed with other preservatives or like all these things,
Yeah.
right? So like the
It's
the
not the
whatever
same.
the whatevers of our youth are no longer the same. And so I don't know. I'm not trying to be some big conspiracy theorist, this and that, but like a lot of it is profit driven, and it's like, hey, how can we make the food taste the best for the cheapest amount to make the most? And so,
Yep.
so anyway, I think
It's
one
not
of the biggest,
conspiracy. That's just business, sadly. And it's crappy business, in my opinion. I mean, like you're feeding people and like there's decisions being made that, are
yeah,
choosing to feed us garbage. But the
right,
problem is like we need
tastes
to.
good.
Yeah, it tastes good and we get addicted to it. And we could spiral off in a whole other episode about this. But we're gonna get the train back on the
Okay,
tracks here.
okay,
But you're right. I mean, like these products are not the same. They don't have the same nutrients. Or they don't, when I'm talking about like whole foods, like they say like the carrots, for example, that we're growing today don't have the same nutrition that the carrots they grew when, we were kids. Because there's less in the dirt now. We've taken it out. It's not there anymore. And I'm sure
fertilizers
yeah,
and
like and then
whatever,
like
right?
all kinds of stuff being sprayed on it. So yeah, like focusing on whole foods or whatever, you don't have to go like we have family members who are full vegan and like all the way on that side of the scale.
Sure,
And then, we're somewhere in the middle. Some things we choose to buy organic, things that we eat all the time. We try to buy organic, things that we don't eat all the time. We're not as, like, okay,
nah,
whatever. But at the same time, I just think like if you're somebody who's very busy like us, and you know, eating at a lot of restaurants, you're taking clients out maybe, or you're having to entertain clients, or you're just in the vehicle a lot. You know, getting home and at least having like a good dinner,
Yeah, it's huge.
good food helps you really kind of like shut her down for the night and then prep for the next day. You're gonna have better energy the next day. Like try to get out of that you know,
Hmm.
restaurant world because everything back there is all it's all prep for speed. Unless you, I mean, obviously depends what restaurant you're going to. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if I'm, you know, speaking to the majority, there's a lot of probably Joey's, a lot of the Keg, a lot of the, you know, restaurants like that, and that stuff's designed for speed, right? Not health. So
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
be mindful, and I then like you mentioned too, you can like a lot of times like a lot of this health stuff can get pushed on the back burner when we're busy, and exactly that. And I think that's where I've gotten to the point now, where I'm trying to make a bit more of an effort to be consistent with. We'll talk about exercise, but even with eating,
yeah,
yesterday I was pretty busy, and I wanted to spend time with the baby after work, but then I also need to barbecue steaks and make the yams and the veggies and all that prep takes time, and it would have been a lot easier to pull a pizza out of the freezer.
yeah.
But I don't always feel good when we have a pre-made pizza, So it's just one of those things where it's a treat, it's a snack, but it's important to still try and make time to eat well for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you think about too, like when, and I know a lot of guys, and I'll speak from a realtor's perspective, like it's spring right now, and this is our busiest time of the year. And like we show houses, normally we start kind of in the afternoon and we'll go, like, dude, Sunday, I left my house at 9 in the morning. I didn't get home till 10 p.m.
Phew.
Like on a Sunday. Like, but that's our Monday, right?
Oh
It's just
wow.
crazy. It's a full day. And like, how are you supposed to eat good when you do
Mm-hmm.
that? Like, even if you
Mm-hmm.
pack a lunch, it goes to crap sitting in the vehicle all day.
Right.
You
Wow.
know, so it can be hard. And I think especially too, even if you're not in this business, you know, I see guys, they're in if they're at a shop, if you're running a mechanic shop or you're running a warehouse or whatever the heck it is that you're doing, like you put yourself last, right? And I think it bodes well to even just like bring up that point you said at the beginning is like, don't forget that you are the business right now. If you're
Mm-hmm.
starting a small business or you're currently in the middle of running one and you're listening to this, like, don't forget you're the guy or you're the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you can't put this stuff off because I've learned that, and this is just watching like myself and like family members and things. Like if you don't prioritize your health, like eventually, if you don't make time for your health, like you'll be forced to, right?
Yep.
With you know getting sick or you know hurting yourself or something like that. So you can only put it off on the back burner for so long. So if you're doing that, you know it's tough. And like you say, you add kids into it. Now it's a whole other layer of complexity on how do we, you know, manage to work a 18-hour day some days and have time to see the kids and have time to make dinner
Right.
and you know all of
Yeah.
that. And of course, we've got spouses that definitely help and make that significantly easier. Um, you know, but I'll just say that it's you can use family to keep yourself healthy. And this is something that like we're doing here because we've got one kid who's a bit of a picky eater, doesn't really like anything that we make, especially anything that comes in that damn HelloFresh box. She sees
Oh,
that box and she's just like,
I don't
I
want
don't like it. I'm like, you don't even know what's in it. I don't
it.
care. I don't like it. I don't want that food.
Oh
And I'm like,
no.
you have no idea how many awesome meals you've passed up. But one thing that we're doing, and this has like multiple benefits because it's prioritizing eating good food, it's prioritizing time with the family, and it's prioritizing, you know, just structure in our day-to-day life that can get a little chaotic. Is we're trying to, as much as we can, get the kids involved with dinner,
Okay.
right? In
Yep.
making dinner, right?
Oh, cool.
So it's like helping us, well, which ones do you guys want to have this week? And, you know, we're sitting at the island, and instead of me just making it and them playing, you know, we're trying to include them. Come on over. Sometimes they just don't have the attention span or they don't want to. They don't care. They'd rather jump on the trampoline.
Sure.
But
Yeah, it's
when they're
cool.
interested, it's awesome. Like they come up and they're, you know, here, mix this bowl up. Here, cut this up. And what we've found is that it's helping with the kid who's super picky because she's proud, right? She's now had a hand in making this, so she wants to eat it too.
Hey.
So that's been good. And like the memories, man, like we're having a great time like making this stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
teaching my kids whole ingredients, like good food and how to cook.
That's awesome, buddy. No, that's really good. And I think too, like a lot of people will make time on weekends to meal prep for the week. I think that's a really good way to do it. Whatever your day off is or your least busy day, you know, pre-making the meals. And I've seen guys, I'm actually really impressed that people will actually like they'll have their big massive cooler and they'll unzip it and they'll have like their breakfast, their lunch, and their dinner. And like so if they're at the office for 13 hours, they got all their pre-made meals and all
Yeah.
that took was time, right? It took intention. And so they're making a choice. And I think too, as we get older, as we age, you got to look at yourself as an asset and as you want to be there for your family, you want to be there for your spouse, you want to be there for a long time and be healthy. And there's people that have aged really well and they're active and they're building fences at 75 years old, 80 years
Yeah, man.
old, like and then there's 85-year-olds that are literally couch ridden, and again, everyone has their own health journey, but like the more active you are, the more intentional you are. I think they say like don't work out for your muscles now, like work out for your muscles when you're 80, like those types of things, right? Like they don't,
Yeah.
and they used to always think like, oh, who cares about the future? I'm young and I'm invincible. And it's like, well, anyway.
No, man, and that's a perfect segue because I know we kind of the front half of this episode has been a lot of diet focus
Yeah.
and like important. But like physical exercise is huge too. And I think we'll be speaking to a larger portion of people who like don't prioritize that. Maybe they eat healthy and they eat okay and that's good enough for them, but they don't go work out. And I know speaking to certain people, um, you say workout and they assume like, oh yeah, what are you trying to get like trying to get jacked? And I'm like, look, man, like that's not might be the title of this episode, but that's not what I'm trying to do when I go work out. And my relationship with goals in the gym has changed over the last 10 years because I used to think that way too. Like it used to
Mhm.
be, I'm going to the gym. My goal here is to get as big as possible because I'm a dude
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what you do. You get swole.
Jacked.
Well, you get jacked up, man.
Yeah.
I am so out of tune
The
with the
words.
lingo. So
Yeah.
but whatever. Now I'm like, you know what? I don't really care about a specific weight. I don't really care about a specific look. I want to function, right? So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
play hockey, I play golf, and I want to be able to play those sports for as long as I possibly can. I want to be able to run with my kids. I want to be able to, you know, show them how to hit a baseball. I want to show them how to, do this and do that. I don't want to be the dad, like people make those dad jokes where it's like you see a dad get out of a chair and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
here we go. And they make the dad sounds. I'm like, oh, I ain't
No.
doing that. And then like the dad
Well,
bod, everyone's like, oh, the dad bod, you're getting a dad. And never,
you don't have to
I will
normalize that.
never
No. No.
have one.
No, no, no. And I think too, like it's one of those things where, like, and again, I've seen it, and we've all seen it. Like, as you see people, a lot of the stuff is learned behavior. So if you see a grandkid sees their parents stuck in the couch all the time, and their grandparents stuck in the couch all the time, or if the parents eat a certain way, well, I'm pretty sure the kids are gonna because
Mom
you
and dad are
watch.
on their phones all night, just
Yeah,
scrolling and scrolling. What do
yeah,
you think that kid's
yeah.
gonna want to do? The
Well,
kid's just
exactly.
want to sit there and scroll too.
Yeah, or mom and dad eat like, processed garbage food all the time. The kids are just going to think like that, and the kids eat it too. Like that's a normalized behavior that they're going to be used to. And so I think too, you can also normalize the other way where you don't have to buy into the whole, oh, as you get older, good luck, you're not going to be able to do this or you won't be able to do that. It's like, no,
Oh,
no, not me.
dude,
I'm not signing into that, man. Like
no, man. And then this just happened. I was playing golf the other day, and on like the one nice day we've had this year, and
Friday.
like, yeah, I think so. Yeah, Friday.
Yeah.
And I was with a buddy, and like I had hurt my hip playing hockey this winter.
Hmm.
And rehabbed it, and it was good. And towards the end of the round, we were getting a little cocky, and I maybe tried to overswing on a drive just to kind of
Never works
show
anyway.
off. Oh, dude, I retweaked this thing in my hip, and I felt it immediately. And like my one buddy, who I don't know if he'll ever listen to this, I won't try to pick him out too much,
Yeah, do it.
but but I'll say, like we're not the same, and he's welcome to getting old, welcome to getting old, that's what happens, that's what happened. And like I just
No.
in my head I was just like, dude. And I actually told him, he was like, old man, hey, I'm like, athlete, Okay.
Yeah,
Athlete over
sports
here.
injury,
Right? It's
right?
a sports injury. I re-aggravated it. And like, you know what? I'm gonna rehab it and I ain't gonna miss a beat, dude. I'll be right back on this course before you even know it, swinging the driver just as hard. So,
Yep, yep,
and
yep.
that's the thing too, is like again, like you got to get in the gym so that your body stays mobile and flexible. And I mean, maybe your business is sitting at a desk all day and you're like, stock
Like me, kind
market or
of, even
whatever,
like
or
me.
Paul, yeah, you're at the desk a lot. And I guess that's something to maybe even bring up. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you stay fit? Like, do you have a routine or do you like
Yeah.
bounce on a medicine ball or like
Well,
lift weights on the Zoom?
I'll be honest, like this didn't resurface in my life for until about a year and a half ago. So for like the previous 10 years, I just lived
Yeah.
my life, ate pretty clean. We'd go for walks and I'd walk golfing. Hadn't lifted weights really. Maybe there was like 1 year span where I lifted weights before the pandemic and then they shut down gyms or whatever. And then after that I did hot yoga for a while, like just stretching and also just for like my own mental health, right? Calming, stretching, that type of thing.
Yep.
But I really hadn't done much. And then I hurt my back about a year and a half ago. It was like a herniated disc where I had to like hobble at like my front. I'd be bent over like 45%, like barely, like an old grandpa, like in Scrooge or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I did 47 athletic therapy treatments in 3 months and massages, and like all of this is out of pocket. I don't have health insurance, right? I'm self-employed,
Yep.
and so, anyways, it was a real awakening that like a lot of that can happen from overlifting stuff in your day-to-day life and just years of stress on your back, right? But then also I realized that I hadn't been working out or stretching or doing core or doing lower back, and so I started realizing that, oh crap, we're having a baby and I can't even walk. I couldn't even really walk. And
Dad of the year right here.
yeah, so I got myself good to go. It still flares up and it still gets tight, but I guess what I'm getting at is I started to like realize I need to do something. So again, I did all those treatments, I did all my home exercises, and then once it kind of went away, I kind of stopped, which is bad. So I got a gym membership in January and I joined like a gym that has scheduled classes where you have to show it's expensive. So it
Yep.
makes you feel guilty for not going. And
Yep.
then it's a 1 hour bang, 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 do this. And it was a really good intro to like getting my butt off the chair again. And so I've done that for 3 months now. And then I think on my next stage now is I'm just gonna go back and get like a regular gym pass now that I have some like routine built back into me. And then
Yeah.
I'll be able to kind of like start with either a trainer or just I know enough what to do to go on my own now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's worth saying here too that like you're not talking people listening to this, we are not two people who are awesome at this. I think that's
No, no,
a fair
no.
assessment. Like I struggle with this too, like with staying consistent with it because um like I play hockey all winter and I play golf all summer and like you, like I just try to eat healthy and live my life and hopefully that's enough, keeping moving and whatever to keep my body going. But same as you, I'm starting to realize like it's not enough, right? Like I don't playing golf is not enough to stay as flexible and healthy as I want. So yeah, like one thing too, and like the other thing that you can use your family, like I said earlier, to help like with the dinner stuff. We get the kids involved. But like if you're not somebody who like wants to go to the gym, you're not somebody who has like I have a home gym, like I have the ability to do it at home, so I don't even have to go anywhere, which is like pros and cons to that.
Sure.
Of like sometimes, you're like, I'll just do it later. It's just downstairs.
Yeah.
And later, like, oh shoot, it's 1 a.m. Guess I'm going to bed.
Yep.
Um, but like if you're not somebody who wants to do that kind of stuff, like we have a dog and I suck at this. Like take the dog for a walk. My dog is super attached to my wife, so my wife ends up taking the dog for a walk a lot of times. But like the kids like to go for a walk too. And what an opportunity to like
Yeah. Family
go and
time.
get in 2,000 steps, like go
Yep.
for a walk around the block. But I'm always like, I always feel, and like, I don't know, I'll just vent out a little bit here is like, I always feel that like when I do these things, almost like a bit of, like worker guilt that I'm like,
Hmm.
we're literally just like walking down the sidewalk. Like I could be at my desk doing those three things I didn't quite have enough time to do earlier today.
Right.
Like the kids are way ahead of us. They're running down the side. They're not even talking to me. Like, they're not paying attention to me.
But
So I'm
that's
just like,
yeah, but that's quality
I,
time with your partner too, right? And then
yeah,
and
and like I need to get better at that, dude. I'm not great.
No, well, no, and then like I said, we're not like when Tyler asks what my routine is, I'm like, oh shit, I don't really have one. But basically what I am doing is like I do try and get up and move every at least 45 minutes, and I have a standing desk. I have a walking pad that I got that I can walk
What
during.
the hell's a walking pad?
It's literally like a treadmill with like just a treadmill that can like slide under your desk with like no real handles. Mine actually has a handle that moves up or down, but it's just basically like a treadmill that you can just,
What?
it's not for running. So Amazon like $200 and it's just literally under my desk and I could be walking, and I've been on some Zooms and people kind of laugh. They're like, "What are you doing?" Because they can see you bobbing just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've
Yeah.
done, dude, when I first set it up, I was doing like 2 hours a day walking just while I was typing emails. And it can get a little distracting, but if you're doing some types of work, it's okay. So I have
Yeah.
that. I do that a couple times a week while I'm working. I get up and move, and then yeah, we as the spring hits us here, like we typically go for walks in the evening, like every other day, and we'll do a 45-minute walk with the dog, with the baby. We have some friends in the neighborhood, family in the neighborhood, and we'll just take whichever kids, whoever wants to walk with us, and we'll walk. And
Yeah.
you get your vitamin D. And I think even just walking is a good start. If you just walk every day, if you can get to those 20,000 steps, I mean, you're laughing. But
Yeah.
yeah, for us, it was me. It was these gym classes 2 to 3 days a week. Got me into the rhythm again of working out, and then now I'm excited to kind of like go get an actual gym pass where I can kind of focus on the workouts that I want to do. And again, Monday or whatever day this is dropping. A couple days ago, I had booked a class, and you can't really cancel within 8 hours, otherwise you get charged.
Ah, nice.
So it kind of forces you to show up. So,
Yep.
anyways, my I was just about to leave, and I run upstairs because I'm running a little late, and then my wife was like coughing, and baby is snotting everywhere, and she's like, I need help, and I'm like, I'm on my way to my class, and so I had that quick guilt moment, but she's like, no, just go, and so yeah, it's tough, right?
Yeah, it's tough. I did want to get into that before I'm gonna come back to that for a sec. I did want to say just like to end the chapter on routines. I I'm learning to use AI for a lot of stuff.
Mm.
Love me or hate me for it, whatever. But for my like the routine that I'm currently following, because I am following a routine right now in my home-based gym. What I did was like, look, I went into chat and actually I used Gemini, shout out. But
Mhm.
I went in there and I basically described, my body type, my general lifestyle. And I said, look, I play hockey all winter, I play golf all summer. I want to ensure that like when hockey season comes around, that like I'm prepped and good. Because the biggest thing with hockey players is all summer you sit around in your yard and you do whatever. And like I just play rec hockey. It's nothing
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
but you still need to skate. You need to be able to be mobile. And I said, but I also want to be able to like when spring comes around, be ready for golf. So a couple different sets of muscles for those two sports. And long story short, I had AI create a workout plan for me. I also told it what equipment I have in my house.
Really cool.
Yeah, and what it did is it spit out a full week program, one for winter, one for summer. And it's like, on days when you're playing hockey, do this, or take that as like your rest day. And then on the days when you're not playing hockey, do this. And then same for golf. So now, like, that's the routine that I'm following. And if you're someone at home and doesn't know where to start, and, maybe like, getting a trainer is not something that's possible for you right now, like, we all have access to AI. Go on Chat GPT, go on Gemini, whatever, and get specific about your goals and your current state and your desired state, and it'll help you with that. But now jumping back onto what Paul just said about guilt, this is a massive thing. And for me, this is going to go right back to the hockey and golf thing, is like I use hockey and golf as like cardio, as an ability to stay active and stay moving, especially if my routine is kind of failing.
Yeah.
And I get guilt, man. Like I have guilt because I go and I have so much fun when I do these things.
Mm.
Like, so for me, like, I don't even feel like I'm working out when I go. I
Mm.
go and like when I play hockey, man, like I skate hard. I'm one of those players or people are probably on the bench like, oh yeah, this guy's trying so hard. Like what is this, the NHL, man? Like calm down. But like I go to play hockey. I go for the skate. There's guys that are like, oh no, let the young guys skate. I'll sit here on the bench. And I'm like, that ain't me. I'm jumping over the boards. I have so much fun when I go that I literally like when I put my own health as a priority, even if I go downstairs to work out, like if the dishes aren't done from dinner, or maybe the house isn't quite in order, or I know my wife's had a long day. You mentioned it there. The kids aren't, kids are a handful. Um, I get like this guilt, and I'm like, and I'm just going to like what benefit myself?
No, yeah,
Like you
I get it.
selfish jerk! Like
Yeah.
how dare you? The
I mean,
house is falling apart.
I get it. And like, again, and I have a, like, I think the one that can maybe be where that can creep in is golf. Cause golf is a typically minimum 5 hour turnaround. Like, let's just say it's honestly more like six. Like, if you think about like leaving your house, getting there, putting your shoes on, hitting 20 balls on the range, playing a 3.5 to 4.5 hour round, like literally it's a 5 to 6 hour commitment if you're playing 18 holes, right?
On the weekend.
Okay, but even, okay, whatever.
I
Even
don't
during the
hit the
week,
range. I play a 3.5 hour round. I'm back in my house in 4 hours, but still,
like,
plane
okay,
ticket,
but no, no, no. From the time you leave your desk to the
4 hours.
time you're back at your desk, if you have a tea time at 7 o'clock, let's just say, what time do you
Yep.
leave your house? Like, don't BS. Like, what time do you leave your house?
There's no reason to lie. I'm leaving. If I have a 7 a.m. tea time,
Yeah.
I'm leaving here at like 6:40,
Okay, so 6:40, and then you tee off at 7 on a Tuesday morning. What time are you back at the clubhouse? What time are you done typically?
10:30.
And then you're back home by 11, roughly. Like,
Yeah.
let's just say, so 6:40 till 11, right? Is
Yeah,
roughly
I
what we're
guess.
talking
Yeah.
about. So
Yeah.
3 hours and
Four and a bit. Yeah.
four and a bit.
4 and 20. Four
Yeah.
minutes. 4 hours, 20 minutes.
Right. So, okay, that's best case scenario, living right by your golf course.
Yeah.
Most
We're splitting
people,
hairs at this point. I get your point.
okay, yeah. No, no, no. I'm just trying to like be real here. Like, so
No,
like
I'm
it's
agreeing with you.
it's
I'm
okay,
agreeing with you.
4 to 5 hours minimum.
Yeah.
So now you're trying to like get out there and like rationalize with your business in your back of your brain. You're rationalizing with your partner, your kids, your other things. Like, that's the one where I sometimes like I walk and you walk most rounds, right?
All
Um,
rounds.
all rounds. So same here. So I walk, and for me, that's you're carrying your bag or pushing it, and you're getting all your steps in the sun, in the breeze. I love it. It's for my mental health. It's for my physical health. Now, sometimes other people wouldn't say that's not your like mandatory
Well, and people
exercise.
also think that freaking golf is like you're getting hammered with the boys and it's just a shit show and you're just, like they're like you go for exercise and I will say like that is not everybody.
No,
Maybe that's
no,
the
no.
weekend warrior golfer, but like when I go to golf, you said the words mental health. Yeah, I coming out of this long ass winter, a little bit of seasonal depression this year for this guy.
Hmm.
I've played 2 rounds of golf already this year, and like I texted my wife halfway through each round. I'm like, I can literally feel myself healing with every step I'm taking. Not to sound like a hippie, but like just like that sunshine, the fresh air, the walking, the just you're surrounded by trees and nature and birds and whatever else, and like you're swinging the clubs, you're walking, and like yeah, the company's normally pretty good too. And like I don't typically drink when I golf during the week. Like there's obviously time and place for
Yeah, yeah,
that, but
yeah,
like I'd
yeah.
say
You're not getting.
90% of my golf, I'm not drinking. Like
Yeah, yeah. No,
I'm there to golf, I'm there for the health benefits and my
and the fun of the
mental
sport, and the
sanity.
100%. And like for me, I love the sport. I love being with the buddies. I've even last year when we had our baby, they'd go down, baby go down to bed or whatever, and my wife was just resting, and I would just 7 o'clock, I would just rip to the golf course and play 9 holes by myself while the sun's setting,
Yeah.
and hour and 23 minutes by myself, 9 holes walking, and I just like no phone, no music, and
Yeah.
there's something like
Man, what does that do for
spiritual
your
or
head? Like,
yeah,
what do you
man,
do?
like
What does that do for your head?
oh, it
Like, it's
was
crazy.
so good. And then but yeah, for the most part too, and like, and we'll get into this in other episodes, but like I don't drink alcohol at all anymore ever. It's been I think like 12, 13 years, and so I think that's been something too that we can talk about, like just
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in upcoming episodes, I'm sure. But I guess what I'm saying is um that the fine balance, yeah, not like the guilt like you're saying, but I guess my whole like coming at you on the time commitment is like, yeah, if you're trying to get out there 2, 3 rounds a week, like that's 12 minimum, 12 to 14 hours where you're during daylight hours where you're not with your family. And that's where it can get tough to rationalize that as exercise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, that's exactly where I try and focus on getting out of the desk, being around people, walking, laughing, and then competing against yourself and with your buddies. It's a great time for sure.
Yeah, and I think like to land the plane here on this episode, I think that's a good way of putting it is if you're somebody who is struggling with this, I mean, just know, hey, it doesn't need to be perfect. I love the saying progress over perfection. Like just because you don't go get a trainer and follow some crazy routine and do it for 3 years straight and crush all your fitness goals doesn't mean like you shouldn't just like work out at least once this week.
Yeah.
Start with baby steps. And then you mentioned like getting your friends involved. Like there was that Peloton commercial where the two brothers were like they didn't live in the same city, but Peloton has the
Oh,
ability to like you can see your friends' times or whatever.
cool.
So they were like, "Oh, Jerry got a faster time. I got to go harder." And then it shows the one guy going harder. And then he goes, "Oh, Ryan got a better time." And then they go harder. And then at the end, like the mom's beating both the brothers or something like that. But
Oh, I remember that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So I mean,
cool.
like, use that kind of stuff. We have technology, like we have WhatsApp, we have, like put it in there, being like, "Hey guys, crushed it today at the gym. Send a stupid selfie." I don't know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
use that if that's what you need to do.
there's at these classes that I go to, there's people of all ages, and one of my buddies there, he's been doing it longer than me, and so his numbers are better. Like on the treadmill or whatever, he'll go faster and higher
Yeah.
inclines, whatever. But it definitely, when I look over at his screen, I see his numbers. It definitely pushes me to dig deeper. And then even yesterday, there was a woman that must have been minimum. She must have been 70, and we we were on the rowing machines, and she was rowing at the same clip that I was. Like the exact same, like it was like 39 whatever strokes per minute. Like we were like, and I was like, it pushed me to push harder, man.
Yeah, man. But like,
Uh,
what a perfect picture to paint for what you were saying earlier about like you're building muscles for future you, like to be
yeah.
70 and like looking over,
Hmm.
like imagine her perspective. She's looking over and seeing you
Young.
and she's like, I'm killing this kid. Like,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
just sees you just sweating.
Oh, I was
Man,
dying,
that's the
bro.
best.
But it was
And
it was
like
it
those
was brilliant.
classes are a great idea. Like
Yeah.
pay for the classes and then yeah, you
And
have to
then
go. Like
you have to go and you feel guilty if you don't. And then it also gets you into a rhythm where now I'm confident again and like because again, after 12 years of not really like lifting weights on a regular clip, it's like I kind of got back into it, got my form dialed in again, and then it was a good kind of kickstart. But I would also just say too, like just baby steps, right? So for me, try and set a goal. Try and walk, on your phone, whatever it is. Try
yeah.
and walk 4,000 steps one day. And the other thing is if you're golfing, walk the front nine and then get a cart on the back nine. See if you can do that, right?
So many people think walking the golf course is like insanity. And this is gonna the last point I want to make is like I've talked to family and friends about like getting moving and working out and they're like, "Oh, but it hurts so much and like I don't have time to be sore." And it's like, you know what? Like I like the feeling I have from like a hard workout the next day, I love it. I love that muscle pain. It just tells me that like you did good things yesterday and spoiler alert, it goes away.
Yeah.
Like once you do it a little bit, like you're always going to be a little stiff, a little sore the next day. That's why you got to eat protein and the healthy foods comes into play to make sure it's all good. But like that stuff fades away.
Yeah.
It's only at the beginning. Like get going, get a routine. And I'll tell you, when you look in the mirror, man, and you start to see some of those results, you're going to get your butt right back to that bench and you're going to throw two more plates on and you're going to go harder next time because it feels good when you look at yourself and you're like, damn,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
That's
working. Look at
no,
these
that
arms.
that's
Where were
it.
these my whole life?
And that's why if you can stick through the first like month or two, like first 4 weeks, 6 weeks, stick with it. But the other thing I was just gonna say too that was one of the biggest things that I incorporated was water, like water, 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 water,
Oh
water.
yeah.
Drink your whatever your mug is that you have 4 times a day, and then that's the biggest thing. I think one of the biggest things that they say too is like, how much water did you drink? How much water did you drink? So that's, toning down. I toned down the soda quite a bit,
Yep. Me
and try to
too.
replace it with water. And then the other thing too is like I've been full disclosure, I've been eating at like 10 or 11 every day recently, PM.
Yep.
Ideally, I think you stop around 8 p.m. is kind of what's best if you're trying
Yeah,
to
you're supposed
not.
to stop a lot of. I'm guilty for that too, man. I
Oh,
late night snacking, especially with hockey playoffs right now. I'm just like bag of chips. Like
dude.
I ate like half a bag of tater tots the other night, like with cheese sprinkled on top. I'm not
Oh
gonna lie,
yeah, I had like
crushed it.
Yeah, like last night I just I just went after the snacks. So yeah, anyways, baby steps. Maybe first thing you can do is say, yeah, start, try not to eat after 8 p.m. for 2 days in a row, and then three, and then four, and then eventually you're not even gonna want to eat after
Well, and
8
how long
p.m.,
do they
right?
say does it take to make a habit? Like 14, do something 14 times or whatever to like
Mm,
to build it in as a habit. Try to do it for whatever,
2 weeks,
however many, yeah, 2 weeks or
whatever.
three
Yeah,
weeks if you take a couple off days. And like go hard on Monday, Tuesday go soft, take Wednesday off. Thursday go hard, Friday go soft,
cool.
Saturday off. Like
Yeah,
whatever works for you. But I mean, like it's you'll see that there will be a return on your investment at work. Your brain is sharper. You have more energy. You're
yes.
able to make better decisions faster. You don't have that fatigue. You're not pissed off all the time because you
Hmm.
feel like garbage. It
Hmm.
it has countless benefits, and anyone who says it doesn't, I don't think you've really tried.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll put it out there.
Love that, buddy. Hey, I think that's a great way to end the show today. And I think too, like we get in our own way and excuses are easy, right? The other night, like I said, when I was gonna go to that workout, I was like, oh, I really don't want to go. I want to help you. I want to stay here. And my wife's like, no, you got to go. And I said, all right, now I'm literally in the comfy, cozy home. It's cold outside, and I'm leaving to go literally destroy my body. I'm like, it's no fun. I'm like, trust. And then she's like, go. So yeah, I think it's important to focus on that and for the future. And again, you can do it. Like it's one of
Yep.
those things. I'm not trying to sound like David Goggins here or whatever, but it's like baby steps, and you're the one that gets in your own way. So just start with baby steps, right?
Don't be comfortable. That's what they say, right? Don't. It
Yep.
might be. You know what? I think that might be the slogan for this show. Like, get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? With everything, I think of you look back at the topics and ones we have planned. Get uncomfortable. Do the thing you don't want to do. So,
Love it.
boom. That was
It's
a
a
great
wrap.
episode, dude. Great
I liked it.
episode.
Hopefully
Good
people
chat.
like. Yeah, hopefully people kind of can take some interest in it. It was great. Thanks for sharing with me too. It's kind of a good reminder for me too, man. Like there's things I could do better. So great episode, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to our next one.
Awesome. If you liked it, like the episode, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. Join us on this journey. We'll post another episode for you next week, Wednesday morning. Check it out. Till then, talk to you later.
Later, guys.